We are going to continue the main quest. We need to find Ruby. That is my number one priority this episode. But I do have a bit of a conundrum. Because I've been looking through this. It says that I'm looking for Ruby. Looking for Ruby brought me to a mural that you somehow think is important. Inspect it thoroughly. I can't remember finding this. It's not standing out like a mural in my brain. But it did say that Ruby left the village and went up the coast. Explore the coast for signs. So I'm just going to re-explore the... why have I got this torch on? The north region and see if I can come across this mural. I must have already found it but not realised what it is. Let's do it. Actually, there's something else up here that I want to go to as well. Because I think I've got this battering ram tool, the multi-tool. That could be one. I want to check this trap. No phasmid, gutted. That looks like a mural. It might be this because I never attempted this, did I? Because I had low visual calculus. Okay then. I do have glasses, I think. I'm pretty confident the only thing I've got are glasses that put up visual calculus. Somewhere. Right then, let's give this a shot. This might be what we need. %. We've got a 60% chance. Come on, we've got to pass this. Yeah. Right, one of these is going to be Ruby. A row of ghostly shades stand facing the wall. There are many of them. Oh shit, it's a firing squad. I've just seen them there. There are many of them, a dozen at least. Their heads lowered by eyes blindfolded. It's quiet. No sound, no movement. 10 meters away, other shades are lined up in an ordinary manner. Automatic, rifles primed. A gust of wind blows by. The coats of the firing squad flap slowly in the breeze. A single person stands on the side. Oh, look at this. The sun blazes high up in the sky, baking the planks, the sand, your skin. The order was carried out in the afternoon. A long time has passed since the moment of fusillading. Rain and brine have since washed all the blood away. Not a trace remains. What is this? The abundance of bullet holes leads us to two options. Either an inordinate amount of executions were performed here, or they did not use a conscience round, where only one soldier has the loaded rifle. Looks like this was a mass execution with everyone fully armed. Look at the people against the wall. A host of men probably in everyday clothes, ragged from conflict and covered in dust. They were not sitting. A common practice for executions in some nations, as demonstrated by the height of the bullet holes. They stand facing the wall. It's impossible to discern any details about their personality. Ordinary people, familiar, each and every one of them. Who were they? Leeches, fleas and thieves. All the freeloader scum living off the hard work of others, such as your belief. Esprit de corps. Maybe you should change it. They were praying, screaming. Look at the soldiers. 7 men in combat uniforms and dark coats, holding automatic rifles. The person standing on the side. The commandant. The one who gave the order. Machine gun fire crackling through the air, the lights on and the muzzle flashes dancing on his face. Kim, who was in this execution? At first the lieutenant doesn't say a word, he just stares at the wall. I don't know, he says finally. I don't know who died here, lined up beside the horrible wall. It could have been any of the parties involved in the revolution. Perhaps one of the executed here were the loyalist conservatives. killed by the communists at the start of the Civil War, or could have been the communists, put to death during the last stretch of the conflict by the coalition forces. Remember what Trant Hidslam said about FELD? What if it was the FELD personnel when their assets were being seized by the revolutionaries? He nods. Another likely scenario. Or maybe, you mentioned coalition forces. Could it have been them against the wall? Yeah. It's very unlikely the coalition forces were the ones who died here. They were always the last ones against the wall. To be honest, if a coalition member was anything in this situation, it was the commandant, the superior giving the orders. Goodbye. A cold sea wind blows away the figures. Behind this building, the other one, once filled with engineers and designers of FELD Electric, now collapsed and dead, but for some rats, you feel drawn for some reason to the faded mural. So that is the mural. Okay then, at least we know where we're going. To be fair, that was relatively painless. I honestly thought this was going to be a nightmare. Like if I'd missed something tiny, some tiny detail somewhere. And funny enough, it's here that I wanted to go to. Anyway, look, blue. I can open these up with my tool. Let's do that first. Health item. And money. That's not too bad. Right, let's check this out then. FELD Electric. I've definitely clicked on this before. Oh, look at that. Oh, I think the reason why I didn't do anything with this before was because this would have been probably so low. But because we've done loads of things. Oh, yeah, look. Found the empty trap, heard Lena's story, went on a date, reconstructed execution, made the awful call, taught La Revolution. Okay then. So everything we do in the game matters. Even though you're sure you succeeded, it's all quiet. There is no cold hand brushing against your forehead, no rustle in the reeds. The wind has died down. The ruin in front of you is as silent as a tomb. What was I even attempting to do here? Lieutenant, she could be anywhere. How do we find her? I want to talk to myself. Try to talk to the wind, the city. Whatever you thought would happen did not. And now, you're just standing there with your hands falling to your side. Is trying to talk to the city something you've done before? It is. I did it when I was dancing. Is it your in-secret repertoire? A trick for when you're out of ideas? A prayer of sorts to Revachol. She could be anywhere. How do we find her? How do we? I was really hoping she'd be in the village. The lieutenant sighs, then gets a hold of himself. Okay. She's probably north of the village, and this place is a peninsula. He looks north. We already scanned most of the outdoor areas on our wild cryptid hunt, so we have an understanding of the geography at least. And then there's the church. He looks at the bell tower. We've already searched that and can rule it out. I know it doesn't feel like progress, but exclusion is a step too. Completed. Good. Anyway, we do it the old-fashioned way, sector by sector. Go over the whole peninsula, ask the locals, enter the places where we can enter first, like we did in the village. And if that fails, then, if we're desperate, we can look where we can't enter. Bunkers, storm drainage, this place. I'm sure it won't come to that. He looks behind him, in the dark, red box crumbling above the chasm. Walk the coast, the old boardwalk, the reeds. You can always come back here and talk to the wind again. Look where it already got you. Buckle up and raise your collar. This search is going to be wet and cold. Oh, I can just do this. Suddenly, there's a sigh. Cowed on the molecules around you, moving, flowing from high pressure to low pressure, like that of a woman emptying her lungs. She wraps the collapsing stone box in front of you in her breath, flowing through it. Where does it go? In through the collapsed roof, flowing down a concrete staircase to the basement, sweeping away footprints on the dust on the stairs, and then the beach below the boardwalk, its winding tunnels a whisper away. Say, I think she's down there below the building. Okay, why? Ever since I woke up, maybe even before, I've been getting these strange cold spells. I'm just going to say the wind told me. He shrugs. So how do we get in there? The doors were on the collapsed side of this building. They're gone, basically. There's a ladder next to the sign. Perhaps we can climb them onto the roof? Perhaps you can climb them. We're not climbing anything. I'm 43 years old and I plan to live to see 70. There has to be a way to use brute force. Climbing sounds unsafe. Brute force is safe. Look around and find something to break if the ladder fails. I'm a professional at breaking things. So let's just destroy something. I'm a fucking beast. Right. I could just break that. I'm going to break this because breaking things is the best. I am the Hulk. An old pipe leaks out from beneath the rotten board of the boardwalk. Could this be an alternative path into the building? A building like this must have multiple doors serving various functions. Perhaps a basement access. Look in. Your eyes slowly begin to adjust to the darkness inside the drainage pipe. The lieutenant looks over your shoulder. What's in there? Could we get into the FELD building through this pipe? Given that this isn't a martial arts thriller, a grin flickers across his face. It's highly unlikely, and not without risk to our health either. However, the pipe suggests there may be an entrance in the basement around. The lieutenant pushes aside the reeds and looks around. His face lights up. He doesn't usually notice these little things. And it's right here, a maintenance door. He points to a rusted metal double door to the right of the pipe, obscured by the reeds. Oh yeah, big boy time. This needs you to put your back into it. You can do it, put your back into it. Yeah, I can. And I've got physical instrument. I think I've got something else that does physical instrument. Or I thought I did. That t-shirt. Ah, it's a t-shirt, so I can't wear it on top of that. Fair enough. We'll still get in. It'll be like 90% now. Try to pull the door apart. Yeah. I'm the man. The metal doors are heavy, and the flake and rust hurts your palms, but together with the lieutenant, you manage to slide them open just enough to squeeze in. Good work, the lieutenant nods towards the impenetrable darkness inside, shall we? Go on in. Oh, there's definitely stuff in here. I already see something green. And we've got a skill now that gives us 1 XP for every green orb we click. That's pretty handy. Flashlight. I'll put volition on. Volition's helpful. I've got my jacket on. +2 logic, -1 perception. I need perception, so let's put my regular hat back on. Visual calculus, I'll keep that on. Composure, yeah. I think we're good to go. I need a flashlight. Overturned table is covered in orange mildew. Crawling with something. This collapse nearly sealed the basement. One can barely squeeze by. Aha, look. Antiquated office furniture, last century. Brought down and forgotten long ago. Oh, I wonder if this leads to the roof. It does. What is this? Postcard. Ah, so this was the alternate way into the roof. Tell you what, I'll check the roof out. That was the main entrance, wasn't it? That we couldn't get through. Possibly. Aha. Stones fall, it's a long way down. The heights are dizzying. The central support beam has been destroyed by artillery force, so there's nothing actually up here. Yeah, that ladder look ropey. Look, it's actually hanging off the top of the building. I wouldn't fancy going up that either. The old file folders in the cart documents silvery with mould. Series of thick dusty panes of glass. This isn't just glass, these are old computation components. Yes, and filament memories from the time when wires were cast in glass. Slides with an inlaid nervous system. How'd they do that and why? The how was a closely guarded secret, something that was locked in safes and human heads across the river where they were manufactured. As to why, your fingers don't know. Kim, look at these. He tilts his head, watching the light glimmer on the glass. So it is. I think these were used to form single systems slotted into the wall. So this is all that remains of FELD. He nods. The rest of the building seems to have been picked clean. Could this be part of the FELD playback experiment? These are old filament memories. I hope you're not expecting to find that device here. You'll be disappointed. Ooh, I am. All you will find here is pain. Pain. +1 suggestion jacket. Okay. Ooh, look what we found. A crevice in the wall. Stale fabric smelling dust. No one slept here in months. Revolutionary's hat. +1 to Mazovian socio-economics. Revolutionary propaganda. Krasmazov portrait. Ah, so we've just seen we've seen it a long time ago, the bust statue. A mustached and mutton-chopped man, amateurly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. A plaque reads, K. Mazov. There's a spider web in the lower left corner of the portrait. Brush the dust off. Years' worth of dust is shaken off. The full head of hair, matched by an ample moustache and sideburns, looks a bit silly. Someone crouches, heels digging into the wet sand, hands sweep across the sand, grain sticking to the frayed skin of the fingertips. An old man sits on a slab of concrete and taps his fingers against the glass of his scope. You shudder. It's that Mazov guy. This must have been the hiding place for some of the native leftists. Some radicals, were hiding out here a long time ago. How long? Half a century. I think the purpose of this bunker was to produce propaganda. It would have had radio equipment back then, but that's all been looted. Yeah, what's with all these secret weapons caches and secret bunkers? We have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in the rundown neighbourhoods, Martinez being what it is. No one has gone through the trouble of cleaning out the old bunkers. Maybe I should move in here, seems cosy. I won't stand in your way, but only after we're through with the case. Could it be connected to the Mazov bust we found in the student's room? Millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. Besides, it looks like some student. The youth always go for this kind of stuff. Could someone have stopped through here recently? He looks at the dust. You mean like Ruby? No. I think we've stumbled on a piece of history. Now I wonder if we can sleep here. Don't know why I'd want to, but could be an option. Footprints in the sand. One of the souls appears to be more worn than the others. This is her. She has been here. There's something in the air, an unnatural buzzing. The tunnel collapsed, you'll have to find another way around. It's getting louder. There it is again, like a swarm of hornets buzzing around your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost smell. Lieutenant, do you feel something? No, what do you mean? A pain. Strange tingling. I don't feel it, but he looks ahead beyond the arc. We should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh. I saw them too. Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step carefully. What do you mean? He lowers his voice. Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do? We'll set in motion events we have no control over. Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail, okay? We found out Everett's plan to take the harbour. Maybe we should tell Joyce about it. We've checked the boy with Clash's documents. I want to hear her take on why it was empty before. How bad do you think it could get? Okay, why not? Whatever goes down might also affect her. The Union is watching her closely now. Not closely enough, you suspect. But still, good idea to visit her once more. We found out Everett's plan to take the harbour. Maybe we should tell Joyce about it. I'll leave that to your judgment. You already know what I think about cross-pollinizing information like this. It's dangerous, but... How bad do you think things could get? Well, we're not responsible for what we can't predict, are we? I don't think his entire city will be razed to the ground, he smells in the dark. Let's try not to worry, he thinks. What do you think is waiting for us there? I think I see a cavern. The lieutenant's whisper echoes down the tunnel. Maybe more cellars. I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise. I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been sneaking. Or maybe not. He puts his hand into his holster. Either way, once we go deeper, there'll be no turning back. Oh, this is like a turning point in the story, isn't it? Right, okay. Okay. Well, I want to go and speak to... That's what I did mean. I was meaning on speaking to Klastja about the boy, but it completely slipped my mind because it happened so long ago. And look, I've missed this window. I'm going to go back and speak to her. This looks like the point of no return. I'm not going to cross-pollinize. I want to take Kim's word. Could this have been the killer's hideout and the narrow window the point of origin of the shot that killed the mercenary? Outside the window the day is clear and as mild as can be in early spring. Could the killer have used this window to hide this as a hideout? It's a great place to hide, and Mazovianism and its murder are certainly not mutually exclusive, but there hasn't been anyone here in ages. I can't see the world in rags. The shot didn't come from here. Indeed, no one could get a clear view. We are being thorough. Come on then. We need to do some backtracking. I want to know everything. Klastja. Yeah, because her documents aren't in that boy, so either someone's compromised it or she's taken them. She might not even be there. She wasn't there last night. And I think that's why I forgot. Yeah, that is why I forgot to do it, because I'm sure I went to go and see her last night, but she was gone, because she normally goes out. Ah, I went the wrong way. She normally goes out late at night. doing whatever ungodly things. Oh, so I've checked the boardwalk now. That's what the mural must have been. Now check the island. We've never gotten to the island yet. I'm waiting for the woman I went on a date with to get our boat ready. Yeah, she's there. Good. We can speak to her still. Who's this guy? Look, this guy's new. Oh, it's a smoker on the balcony. Hi, gendarme. Another rendezvous. There he is again, the smoker on the balcony, right in the whirling rags. Hi. Hi, hi. So what brings you here? What are you doing here? Admiring the atmosphere. What are you doing here? I don't know what I'm doing here. I just go wherever life takes me. Maybe you should figure it out, detective. Tell me again about the muscular type who came to investigate the crime. Oh yes, let's see. He knocked on my door a few days after the lynching. I think he was going through the entire building asking questions. What did you tell him? Nothing. That I didn't say anything. And he believed you? Did you tell him about your friend? He takes another drag of a cigarette before knitting his brows. What friend? Your Sunday friend, the witness. No, I don't think it came up. What did he look like? Muscular, handsome, he shrugs nonchalantly. Strong like the other military types. Was he alone? Yes, but he was speaking to someone on his earpiece. His earpiece? Yes, you know those tiny speaker microphones? What was he saying? Just reporting back whatever I was telling him. Besides muscular, did he have any other identifying traits? He turns his eye upward in recollection. He had an accent. He sounded like one of those mercenaries. Vaguely orangey. He chose his eyes. No, not vaguely. Scratch that. He sounded definitely oranges. Thanks for the information. I met your Sunday friend. You did. A small smile adorns his face. And how did you like him? You were right. He was magical. Magically bureaucratic. I told you, he can be very useful. I guess that's a charm of powerful people. Who is he? A visitor from the first world. He's not like you and me. He smiles. To his opportunities in Occident, Sir Leclerc, still he breathed in and his lungs filled for a moment before letting out. His coming and going brings some life into the village. What are you, you two? Friends. I told you, Sunday friends. Friends who like to get together from time to time. What does it mean, a Sunday friend? He sighs. That he won't be there when times get tough, I guess. Is that even a friend? It is on a Sunday. Why was he staying at your place in the middle of the night? He has keys, and he likes the view. I don't want to talk about other people, I want to talk about you. Composure, baby. I think I've already got my shoes on for composure, don't I? I do. Right? Let's see what he's got to say. Could he be a member of the homosexual underground? Could he be a member of the homosexual underground? What a question. Yes, this man is definitely one of the homos. I've seen the homos with my own eyes. This sexual thing seems interesting. Ask around, become involved. Are you part of the homosexual underground? The homosexual underground. The smoker sits up immediately, his eyes wide with amazed surprise. A honeyed smile lingers on his lips. Why, yes, I am, officer. Why do you want to investigate? Yes, I want to hear more about this homosexual underground you're part of. Oh, it's a pleasure. A sub-rosa pleasure group congregating in cellars under the cover of night, Saturday night, sometimes even Friday night. What about Thursday? But why do you convene? What do you do? Oh, we're ambitious. We want to destroy the last vestiges of meaning, the last things people in Revachol had held onto, the true symbols of security, the meaning of man and woman, mother and father, their marriage. Everything will be constantly shifting and moving under our rule. The future will belong to a circus of identities, just spinning around, surreal and unreal. You won't even know who you are anymore. Does it have anything to do with disco? Yes, we also love to listen to a lot of disco. Some say we engineer disco in the spread of our vision, of a vertiginous, ever-changing society where all there is razzle-dazzle of gold. We're going to change the family unit. No, this is not me. That much fun should be illegal. Ah, but for the better part of history it has been illegal. But it isn't anymore. No. What if I can't remember whether I am or not? Okay, that's definitely not me. The smoker starts laughing and leans back against the counter. Sure thing, officer. What do you want to know next? Nothing. But that was a hilarious little thing. I've gained a thought about homosexuality. Maybe I like the penis. Yeah, fuck that. Oh look, all the guys are back. They've come back, and it's not just the ringleader. Down in the underground, the homosexual underground.
Officer, it's a fine day for questions.
I found your boy. It was empty, just seawater. Oh? Did you take the documents? No, of course not. As I said, it would have been too risky for me to use those documents anyway. My employer gave them to me. In truth, I should have destroyed them. Perhaps the people who were after you took it. She thinks for a moment, then shrugs. They couldn't have known where I put it. I'm absolutely sure I was not followed, and I've told no one but you. You mentioned seawater. I was worried I'd been too careless with the latch. The documents were probably, she waves her cigarette, just washed away. The words washed away sound distant and strange suddenly. Somewhere far away, a dog barks. Is that it? Did I come all of this way to find out that they might have just washed away? Unless that's a hint of me finding them. I didn't get a new task. Well then, I want to make this very brief. I want to have a quick look next to the boy to see if they've washed away. I don't know what it is. I'm not. Do I really care? Do I really care about the documents? We'll have a look. We'll have a check. We're going up that way anyway. I still don't know what these guys are for, but I don't really care. The police officers were taking the piss out of me. I genuinely thought something like was going to happen there. Maybe like she say, oh yeah, I took them, or maybe divulge more information, but no, she's very tight-lipped on the subject. I should probably put my perception boots on, shouldn't I? I can't find my police jacket. Oh, there it is. I forgot the police jacket had visual calculus on it. Washed away. It should be easy to spot because we've got high perception. So if it is lying anywhere. And at least it's right next to where we need to go to. Wait there, what is this? Oh, that's the door in. I thought the boy was here. Oh no, no, it's further up next to this trap. Well, that's as far as that goes. Do I care? I do care, that's the problem. I don't care. Come on. I'm going in. It might just be a red herring. Fuck it. There's no quest saying find the documents or anything, so I don't think we need to, do we? And what would that even matter? To confirm her story? I think we've passed that so far. Yeah. Come on. We're gonna solve this case. The point of no return, but what I will... was that something I don't know. What I will do is I want to make a save here. So at least if this is the point of return, if I've missed anything, I've got a backup. Concrete pipe buried in sand and dust. There's a door over there. What the fuck? Suddenly your entire... I can't even fucking think. Suddenly your entire body is paralysed. Aggressive white noise fills your skull. A strange pain like you've never felt before. Through the static you hear a woman's voice. It's like 1,000 radio stations are being blasted into your head all at once. But her words are the only words you can make out.
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now. Don't move too much or fight it. That'll just make it worse.
Ruby the instigator.
Can't say it's a pleasure, officer. I was really hoping not to make your acquaintance. But here we are.
The voice coming through the whirlwind of pain is not malicious. She doesn't want to hurt you, but she has to. Has that gave up its volume or not? It has. Good. Doesn't wish to hurt you, not according to your ear canals. Wait, not even your ear canals. This is going directly into your neural pathways. I'm not even going to cover my ears. Don't cover them, I'm a beast. Oh shit, that was a bad idea. Whoa, I'm only on 1 health. That's an awful decision. Why would you not want to shed yourself from it? It's an entirely new type of experience, way worse than all the previous ones. Don't focus on the pain, focus on doing your job. Tell her she's under arrest. You're under arrest.
Really now? Check this out.
Shit, she's turning it up higher. You're overwhelmed with a new surge of violent static. It feels like a blood vessel exploded in your brain. Kim, help, my brain's on fire. His eyes roll back into his skull. The torment Lieutenant Kitsuragi is experiencing is worse than your own. He's trying to resist, but there's no way of knowing what he will recover. When he will recover.
I'm using a pale latitude compressor. You and your partner have been caught in its field.
A pale latitude compressor. Blasted from that pale emitter Fat Angus mentioned. I saw your equations, the Ulan frequency.
Saw my equations? You've been sniffing through my lorry, right? I expected as much. Well, I am a bit surprised you knew what you were looking at.
Pale latitude compressor. You should probably check on Kim. It doesn't sound like he's doing too well. Look back at Kim. Right behind you, officer. Eyes closed, the lieutenant is doubled over. He's still alive and
The
breathing.
pale latitude compressor is used to sort of make the pail more manageable. With a lot of these, you can force a radio signal grid on the pail. Literally crunch the distance across it. Signals are relayed across a series of repeater stations fixed to buoys. Not a fun job manning those stations. All alone out there in the pail. People lose their minds in just a few years.
A series of repeater stations fixed to buoys. Maybe that's why hers is being let loose.
So, what we are experiencing is a concentration of radio waves.
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid. It's meant for forcing dimensions on something that doesn't have them. Needless to say, the frequencies used are out of this world. At the upper limit is the large prime number generator station. It's used specifically for pale latitude compression. That's why you might be hearing some numbers. But you might also hear, or think you're hearing, local radio chatter.
She's been holed up in here for a while with no one to talk to. Keep her talking and you might just get an opportunity to break loose. How did you get your hands on this
I
thing?
built it myself.
That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented. But we are beyond that, aren't we?
Oh yeah, way beyond.
She studies her death ray and the law officials trapped on it. Have you experienced the compressor yourself?
Yeah, I stuck my head in there before using it on you. Seemed like the ethical thing to do. Can't say that I enjoyed it. The field was weaker, but I can imagine what you're going through.
Will I stay like this forever?
No. Once I shut down the compressor, the pain will end. It may take a few minutes for you to steady yourself, though. It's a bit like walking out of a very confusing dream.
This is all great, but let's talk about the man who was killed.
Yeah, let's not talk about that shit. You were hunting me and fell into my trap instead. That's all there is to say about it.
Turn it down so I can ask you something.
If you've got something really important to say, you can do it through the white noise.
Oh Rosaline, oh Rosaline.
Damn this.
God damn it.
She regards you and Kim with sudden sympathy.
Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down. I've also got a gun, by the way.
She steps reluctantly out of the shadows. The pain lessens. The gun she's carrying is a 2-barreled front loader, not like the murder weapon. Well, it doesn't feel much better, but you can form sentences now. Thinking doesn't seem to hurt as much. Just keep her talking and you'll get through this. Destroy the machine. Wait there. How did you know we were coming? I heard you in the passages and I've been preparing for quite a while. By hiding bullets under floorboards. So you found my shack, huh? I'm not surprised. Her tone is bitter. She thinks she's been betrayed. She didn't rat you out, by the way. Isabel, the washerwoman. So nice, she smiles a little smile. That one knife I didn't want to find in my back. You don't need that. Preparing for the worst? I was, before I caught you in the pale latitude compressor. I'm fine now. Okay. It was dark in the shack. The waves outside had calmed down. She looked at the loaded gun. Then she cracked the barrel open and took the bullet out. Not today. Did you shoot Lely? No, I didn't do it. I only helped stage the lynching, though I doubt that makes much of a difference to you. Who ratted me out, by the way? Was it Titus? No, she hesitates. He wouldn't have broken first. You're right. Clastia was first. To share her suspicions. Oh, she smiles sadly. I knew the kitten had claws, but not like this. But she couldn't have known I was on the coast. How did you find me? Titus told me. It took some convincing. Oh, fuck. Took some convincing my ass, and those guys like me. I know it. If this is what happens to people whom people like. A dull despair is creeping into her voice. How the fuck do the rest of you get by? Wait. Wasn't it you who called me the human can opener? It's not personal. I opened them up. I did, didn't I? And now you've come for me, she scoffs. But fuck them all the same. That did make her forgive them a little. I do it by asking questions and I have some for you. Honestly, I don't know how I do it. I just stumbled in here. Can you please explain? Like what? She adjusts her grip on her gun. I already told you I didn't do it. Would you say that Lely was a likeable person? I didn't like him. Hardened mercenaries aren't particularly likeable types. You don't feel sympathy for mercs. It's hard work. Plenty of broken people who don't come with that kind of body count. Besides, they're paid well for what they do. Do you feel protective of the Union? Yeah, sure. And I didn't like Wild Pine sending those foreign highlands. Me and a fuck ton of other people around here. She didn't hate him, okay? I have other questions. Do you have an alibi for when he was shot? I was with the boys the whole night. There was 10 minutes they couldn't account for. You mean the length of a toilet break? That wouldn't have even been enough time. Wince from the pain has shown that 15 minutes was just enough time to commit the murder. Wow. Now I'm curious, please explain. There's a secret way in the first floor of the whirling on the roof. Don't know it, but also she frowns, studying your face. Evaluating your competence as a police officer. The shot couldn't have come from the roof, or we would have all heard it downstairs. She has a point there, no one mentioned. The pain stops him from finishing the sentence. Right, hold on, sorry, I'm just going to have to turn this off. How do I break that machine? You have a gun. And? Where did you get it? The gun store, which one? Trigger Happy Jacks. That doesn't sound like the name of a real store. What did you think? I'm going to squeal on my gun supplier? Sorry, I'm not that kind of gal. I say it's a front loader. Do you have another gun somewhere? Sure, I don't. A breech loader. I say it's a front loader. Do you oh. I can't quite tell what kind of gun is it. Two-barreled. Not really what you were looking for, I'm guessing. Do you collect guns, maybe old rifles? No, they're not practical, break too often. There's other evidence I want to ask you about. Fucking... What? How can I not do this? Like, I want to smash the thing, but it's fucking locked us out of it. Oh, there we go. So we can. Sorry, I was just... Yeah. Do you like to hang out on rooftops? Who doesn't? Oh, you probably mean Claster's rooftop. Sure, I hung out there. She's got this great antenna. Is that the only reason you hung out on the roof? The view's pretty bomb too, but you might say the antenna was the main attraction there, yeah, along with Claster. What's so great about her antenna? It's very powerful. I used it to tune into RCM frequencies. That's how I knew to be prepared for your arrival. Come in. So you're sure you didn't shoot the merc from the roof? Did you leave any flowers up for Claster on the roof? No. Gifts of flowers and candy aren't really my style. Those weren't just flowers, they were symbols of revolution. So now I'm leaving revolutionary symbols around, come on. But Claster was mourning. I never did understand why, when someone dies, a hot house's worth of flowers has to die too. Okay, so you didn't leave the Maybells. You're running drugs for the Union. I've been through your lorry. She shakes her head slowly. So Heart of Gold Tommy's fucked me over too. Never trust a magician. That really comes as a blow to her. No, he didn't. I found my own way in. Okay, great. You got into my lorry on your own. What now? You're going to arrest me for drug trafficking? A bitter smile. Beneath it, she's relieved Tommy didn't betray her. You're a criminal. I can't trust anything you say. She scoffs. You had a financial incentive to kill the merc. Man, it's to get away from all the murderous shit that I left Jamrock, my previous employer, for the Union. The lieutenant is unable to articulate his question. She turns the knob down just a millimetre, then continues. I got lucky being a dispatcher. Never had to do any of the really dirty work myself. This gun, she glances at it, has only been used for self-defence against serious scum. There. It's going to be easier to reach the machine now. But you're threatening us with it. Based on what I've heard about you, you are serious scum, she responds, holding your gaze. There's a sinister note in her voice. Right, wait there. Step back. I'm going to do it. Smash it. Go on, baby. Go on, baby. Fuck your box, bitch. You did it. The compressor lie's broken on its side. It's quiet in your head again. It still hurts like hell, but... See them fireworks? Kim glanced back. Actually whisper over your shoulder. You okay, Kim? All good, officer. Be careful. She looks at the machine, assessing the damage. Her hand trembles. Ah, fuck it. She puts the barrel of the gun into her mouth. What are you doing? Well, I've got no chance of doing that. What are you doing? Problem solving, she mutters. Mom, put the gun down. That's not the solution to your problem. You are... Oh, yes it is. Oh, she's going to blow her brains out. Fuck. Rhetoric low. Why am I standing here like it? Because you've been going around pointing a gun at yourself, trying to answer the same question in vain. Her finger squeezes the trigger now. Can't stop her. A smirk crosses her face as she watches. Oh! Watches you stand there mute. Then she exhales sharply, shakes her head and pulls the trigger. You watch as her brains trickle out through her neon hair. Oh God. I fail to talk her down. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to, okay, compose yourself and move on. We clean up. Tell you what. I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied with that answer. I'm going to make a save.